Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Is there anything else I need to do to get ready for this meeting?
I don't think so.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
Okay, we'll be starting around 9:30.
Sounds great. Thank you, sir.
Maurice, how's my sound level?
You
It's
sound good.
11. Okay, great. Thanks.
So is it just Alana right now? Is that all we got?
So far, yeah.
Looks like it, Kelly.
Thank you.
Arlene's on.
Good. Okay.
Chairwoman Brett,
Yeah, we have to go that formal list, but okay. Yeah.
Maurice, can you hear me?
No, we can't hear you.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Maybe if you sang a little bit, we'd be able to hear you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Merlin.
Good morning, Merlene.
Okay, I fixed it. Chairwoman Brett,
Stop it, Liz.
what did she say?
Stop it with the full title.
Mr. Donovan's not going to be here this morning.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah, I just got a call this morning from him.
All right.
I think we have a full quorum.
Yeah, we do. We just need this swear-in person. Alana, you mind pulling double duty?
I can do that. Not a problem.
Thank you very much.
Certainly.
Okay, 9:30. Liz, we can get started.
All right. Would you like me to read the preamble or call the roll this morning?
Preamble first, please.
Okay. Mr. Rulins, if you can go to the next screen. Morning, I'm Liz Kukla. I'm the Secretary of the Board of Zoning Appeals, and I'm going to read the preamble for you this morning. In compliance with notification requirements of the city's open meeting law under COVID-19 emergency declaration, notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions under the purview of the City Planning Department conducts its meetings according to Robert's Rules of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Abstentions from any vote due to a conflict of interest should be stated for the record prior to taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting have the opportunity to be heard, we ask that you use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. Raise hand feature can be found in the participants panel on the desktop and mobile version and activated by clicking the hand icon. Please wait for the chair or facilitator to recognize you and be sure to select unmute and announce yourself before you speak. When finished speaking, please lower your hand by clicking on the raise hand icon again and mute your microphone. We will also be utilizing the chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the chat button located on the bottom of the WebEx screen. Please note that call-in users can unmute by using *6. All meeting activity is being recorded via the WebEx platform. These proceedings are also being live streamed via YouTube for public view. We have provided a link to the meeting for those who wish to speak on a particular case via our website and email. We have also received emails from those who have provided written comments on a particular matter. I'm going to call the roll now. Mr. Donovan is absent this morning, so we have Ms. Barnes,
Yes, Ms. Barnes.
Ms. Faith.
You're
I'm
muted.
sorry.
Yes, it helps if I unmute myself. I am present.
Thank you. And Ms. Britt.
Yes. All right. Looks like it's Ladies' Day at BZA. All right.
All right. So we have 3 postponements this morning. The first one on the list is 21-105, 1410 Lakeshore Boulevard. Breakwater Tower LLC owner applies to erect a business identification wall sign. This one was postponed because there is an administrative appeal right that was not listed on the public notice. So that is why we need to postpone it. And the new date would be August 9th, if that is all right with you, Madam Chair.
Fine with me.
All right.
Objection.
Yeah, without objection.
So the next one is, oh, I'm sorry. The next one is calendar number 21-087. And that is regarding 1331 West 65th Street. There have been changes to the site plan for this specific case regarding multiple dwelling unit building. They have decided to remove the office and gym, and there's been a reduction. As you can see, some of the code sections have been removed from the public notice. And the councilwoman is requesting a postponement to allow time for the community to review the new site plan. We can also turn that around and put it in the August 9th agenda.
Okay. That filling up? We got room for this?
Yes, this is the last one.
Okay. All right. That works. Without objection, board?
Without objection.
So the next one, I'm not sure if I was able to get this to Maurice before his cutoff time on Friday. Calendar number 21-026 regarding 1914 East 7th Street. They're requesting a second postponement to allow time for a public meeting. I believe that there were some questions that weren't answered, so they need more time to consult with the community. The next date on that would be August the 16th.
That's East 75th Street, not 7th.
Yeah, I was like, we don't have a 7. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Slightly different area. I don't even know if there is an East 7th, actually.
I know. I was sitting here like, wait, what? Do I have an old agenda? Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
So just for the reader of the cases, please clarify that's 21-026.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. And we're going to what date?
August 6th.
Yeah, August 16th.
Thank you very much.
Is that it, Ms. Kukla?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I think we have Councilman Brancatelli on, so we'll start with his case, Alana.
Great. I was going to ask you if you wanted to do that. That's awesome. Calendar number 21-104 at 3985 East 66th Street. Central Rental LLC owner proposes to add a dwelling unit and establish use as a 4-dwelling unit apartment building in a B1 two-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there is, looks to be one that was filed June 8th, 2021. For all those that wish to make statements in this case, if you could please raise your right hand and repeat after me. Following the swearing in, I will ask you to say, "I do," and please state your name one at a time clearly for the recorder. Please raise your right hand. I solemnly swear or affirm that the statements I about to give are the truth and the whole truth, so help me.
I do.
Councilman
Michael
Tony Brancatelli, I do.
I do. Nicole Calhoun, City Planning Commission.
I do. Marilyn Moshinsky, Slavic Village Development.
Do we have representatives from Central Rental? Do we have representatives from Central Rental with us?
Yes, he just said something, but he got cut off.
Okay. Could you repeat that then, sir?
I do. Michael Senta.
Thank you. Is that everyone then? Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Faith. History, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In the Records Administration Office, I found that in 1965, there were there were amendments made to the property to correct violations to a 3-family dwelling. There are no variances on file. And in the more recent history in our Acela system, I found that in 2011, a permit was issued to board 5 windows due to a fire. And then in 2019, a permit was issued to tear off and re-roof the building. That's all that I have that is relevant, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Legal standard, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Appellant is requesting a use variance. To obtain the use variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will result in an unnecessary hardship particular to the property, such that there will be no economically feasible use of the property without the variance, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
All right. Thanks, Ms. Wagner. Maurice, with a summary, please.
Sure. The summary on this one, it's pretty basic. We're just going for, it's a use variance to convert a 3-family to a 4-family. I'm not sure if it's a legal 3-family. This is a 2-family district. I would also point out that I don't think there's any actual parking, what would be considered legal parking by the city, although they were not written up for that.
All right. Thanks, Maurice. Yes, thanks, Ms. Faith. I did not announce that we do only have 3 members today. So you have to have a unanimous vote, or or you can wait until we have a full complement, which we haven't for a while. So it's on you on that. I forgot to announce that there. So if anyone wants to postpone, just let us know. All right, who's ever here for to present this case, go ahead and present, and keep your comments to the variances listed, please.
Okay. Hello. I bought the property last September when it was being rented to 3 families, with a proposed 4th unit being empty space. When the tenant in the 3rd unit on the second story at the front of the house moved out, I began looking into CMHA's voucher program and discovered the non-compliance. With this zoning variance, I would like to bring the property, including the existing third unit, into compliance, and also to convert the empty space in the second story into a fourth unit, making full use of the second story. This would take the property a step closer toward eligibility under CMHA's voucher program, produce rental revenues that make long-term maintenance of the property economically feasible, and secure financing for the full value of the property, not just the first story. Thank you.
Okay, we have the folks from the CDC here, I believe.
Hi, this is Marilyn Moshinsky from Slavic Village Development. We have not met with them yet and discussed it, but we do not support the addition of the fourth unit into this building.
Okay, you have a reason why you're not supporting the fourth unit?
Right now, because it is a two-family, as was stated, it is a two-family. They do not have the parking facility available for it. And it just would not be a feasible addition into that area of our neighborhood.
Great, thank you. Who else? Do we have anybody else before the councilman?
Madam Chair, I would like to point out that looking at the picture in the bottom right-hand corner, there are 4 mailboxes which do have materials in them. So I'm wondering if it isn't already being used as a four-suiter.
Yeah. And they're asking for forgiveness now. Sir, do you already have 4 units in this house operating as such?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what was that response?
He said he does not have 4 units operating. City planning?
Yes,
Nicole Calhoun is here.
Yes, this is Nicole Calhoun, City Planning Commission. Thank you, members of the board. We do not support this variance. We believe that it is an overuse of a little bit of property. And what we're trying to do is actually create an infill comfortable housing. There is no parking. We'd like them to bring the property up. This is the first that I'm hearing of it. I'm glad he did buy the property in September, but we're looking for him to make the improvements to the home and the parking first, and then move forward. I think that's a better use, and we do believe that there are 4 different families in the place already.
Thank you, Ms. Calhoun. Councilman, would you like to chime in now?
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Chair. I had sent a handful of emails to Maurice. I'm not sure if he's had a chance to open those. If not, if I can do share screen, I can show some of the.
When did you send them, Councilman? I did not see those.
I sent them 30 seconds ago. I don't know why you don't have them. I'm sorry.
I don't have my email. Just, so we don't crash anything here. Let me see if I have screen sharing turned off by other people. Let me see what I can do here.
Or if you can open your email and see if you can just open it on your side.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, let me try that. If you want to go ahead and make your comments, and I'll try to.
So a handful of comments. Thank you, Madam Chair. I do not support adding the additional unit. In fact, this will be adding 2 additional units. It is legally a 2-family. Some of the documentation that I sent over was during a certificate of disclosure when this property was purchased. It was disclosed as a 2-family. The county records when it was purchased show this under the property class as a 2-family. There's no history of this ever being converted to a 3, so it is a legal 2-family right now. The other concern I raised was the current conditions. I mean, it is a pretty deplorable property. I was there this weekend. Unfortunately, Mr. Senta didn't have the courtesy to even clean up the debris around the property, bag the trash, knowing that he would be coming in front of this board to ask for permission to add an additional unit. and there's debris in the back of this lot. This is a 250-foot lot. This is adjacent to Warsaw Park. Lots of kid traffic by this property. The other notice is that a few folks commented there is no driveway in this property, which is correct. This is actually an alley, Rattay Court rather. There's two courts, Rattay Court and Poland Court, and it goes back to East 67th Street Alley. So I went out there this morning and marked where the alley access is to show that in fact there's no driveway there. So what you see on the screen today, that is actually an alley. It's not a private drive. So the proposed putting the drive and 4 parking stalls in the back would actually be putting that on city-owned alleyway. So the property needs a lot of work. It is in bad shape. I would request that we do not approve this. In fact, go back and ask for a building and housing inspection. This is in fact a 2-family.
Thank you, Councilor. Oh, go ahead, Maurice.
Sorry, Councilman, I think I gave you the ability to share. If I did not see the email. If you want to, I don't know if it's necessary, but.
Yeah, I think he laid out what he had. So.
Okay.
We don't need to worry about that. Board, any questions?
I think my comment would be, would the councilman and the CDC be willing to work with the landowner to get the property to meet the requirements?
Oh, I would absolutely work with him to figure out how he owns the vacant lot to the right of this property. And if he would like to propose putting a driveway in and getting this as an appropriate 2-family, I would absolutely work with him on that.
So does the CDC.
So, Mr. Senta, would you be willing to ask for a postponement today to give you the opportunity to work with the CDC and the councilman?
Yes, please.
So you're asking for a postponement?
I am.
Okay. Madam Chair?
Yes. So the one thing I don't know if postponement works or.
Chair.
Yeah, I guess we can postpone.
Madam Chair, the other, sorry, this is Liz Kukla, if I could jump in, sorry. The other option is for the appellant to withdraw. This could give him more time to work with the.
Yeah, that's what I was going back and forth about.
Okay.
I think a withdrawal is better than a postponement right now.
Because if we decide today, or even in the future, if it's denied, then he would lose any chance to ever establish the 4-unit there. So this would give him time to reconsider and work with the community.
Yes. And Mr. Senta, Mr. Alvarado from Slavic Village just sent you a message in the chat about contacting them at Slavic Village so they can work with you on getting your property up to code and everything else.
Okay. I'll try to find that message.
Okay. And so you have to ask for a withdrawal then so we can move on.
I would like to request a withdrawal.
Okay. Without objection, board?
Without objection.
Without objection.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Senta. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we can start from the beginning, Ms. Faye.
Okay, I think.
Unless any other council people are here.
I didn't see any others, so I
didn't either. Okay.
Okay. All right, so back to calendar number 21-098 at 13001 Dove Avenue. Paul Snowball, owner, proposes to construct a 7-space parking lot in a B1 2-family residential district and a C1 local retail business district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are 6, filed June 7th, 2021.
Thank you.
For all those that are going to make statements in this case, will you please raise your right hand? I will be reading the oath to you. At the end of that, you will respond, "I do," and state your name clearly for the recorder, please. Please raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear and affirm that the statements I'm about to give are the truth and the whole truth.
I do. Paul Snowball.
I do. Martha Fields.
Is that everyone?
I do. Amanda Kramer.
Anyone else? Okay, back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. On the history, Ms. Kukla?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The property was originally zoned to general retail and to family in 1929. In 2011, that general retail portion was changed to local retail. There are no records in the record administration office that I could find. There are no variances on file. And in the more recent history, we found that in 2017, a permit was issued to demolish a 1.5-story frame single-family dwelling. That's all that I have.
Thank you. Legal standard, please, Ms. Wagner.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Appellant is requesting area variances from the off-street parking and fence requirements of the zoning code, as well as permission to construct a parking lot in a residential district. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and the granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code. Subsection 349.13c provides that the board may permit temporarily or permanently the use of land in a residential district for a parking lot when the best interest of the community will be served, and provided that the lot is only to be used for the parking of passenger automobiles of employees, customers, or guests of the person or firm controlling and operating the lot, who shall be responsible for its maintenance. No charges to be made for parking on the lot. The lot is not to be used for sales, repair work, or servicing of any kind. Entrance to and exit from the lot are to be located so as to do the least harm to the residence district. No advertising sign or material is to be located on the lot. All parking is to be kept back of the setback building line by barrier unless specifically authorized otherwise by the board. The parking lot and that portion of the driveway back of a building line are to be adequately screened from the street and from adjoining properties in the residence district by a hedge, sightly fence, or wall not less than 4 feet 6 inches high and not more than 5 feet high, located back of the setback building line. All lighting is to be arranged so there will be no glare that is annoying to the occupants of adjoining properties in a residence district, and the surface of the parking lot is to be smoothly graded, hard surfaced, and adequately drained. The building permit number under which the lot is to be established is to be posted, and the board may impose other and such further conditions as it may deem necessary to reduce the adverse effect of the proximity of a parking lot on the character, development, and maintenance of the residential district in which the parking lot is to be located.
Okay, you sure you want to do this parking lot? Okay.
That was a mouthful.
My head is still spinning, but it's okay.
Oh man. Okay, Maurice, go ahead with the summary, please.
You want me to summarize all of that?
Yes.
Okay, so this was originally a land bank lot that was sold to the applicant. So basically, we're looking at a parking lot where apparently there must not have been any specifications for grading or proper drainage. In the original plans, they were not showing wheel stops or bumper guards. There also is in the plan a proposal to park in the setback, the residential setback on the side street, and they are also proposing a fence that is higher than 4 feet. So those are the main issues.
Great, thank you. Who's ever the representative for this project, please go ahead and present your case.
Hi, this is Paul Snowball. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I was having some issues with the WebEx, so I'm using my phone and the WebEx app. So I've owned the adjoining property, which is facing East 131st, and that property is 3900-02 East 131st. And, currently, that property is a mixed-use property, but overall zone is commercial with 3 walk-up apartments and 2 commercial storefronts. Since I own the property, I've been working on bringing it up in terms of, just the quality, interior and exterior, and I've done a good bit of that. I've been trying to work with the city to further upgrade the property in terms of getting some funds to, to renovate the exterior of the building even more with new sidings, awnings, lighting, and so on. So, I'm trying to make it one of the best in the area. And again, the area is very challenging economically. I'm not telling you all anything there. So I have limited parking currently where I'm at, both for the residential part as well as, if those 2 storefronts are going to produce economic returns, then I think there's need for additional parking. And what I'm trying to do is to combine that with the fact that it's also residential. So the proposal I'm making here is to, within, the purview of like sustainability, to make half of the lot, that's why 7 slots, to be for parking, and the other half would be green space and, of course, the sustainable type landscaping. The other proposal was that instead of using, the existing sewer lines, that we would drain naturally. In other words, slope so that we could use the ground for sewer runoff. And again, because we have more limited, coverage, in other words, we're paving a limited part of the lot, then, that could be accommodated. I've worked with Ms. Fields and with the land bank and, with an architect to kind of come up with the plan that would do this. And I think all of the relevant documentation is on file. I'm not sure. I'll let you tell me that. And other than that, again, I'm just trying to upkeep the building. I was, just a little bit of background. I won't take much time. I went to John Adams High School, 80s, and I lived in that building with my mom. And when I moved out, I got to know the landlord and owner and eventually bought the building from him. And so, part of this is kind of a pride project as well as just wanting to see the area improve. So I'll stop with that, and if you have questions.
Great, thank you. Marka, would you like to chime in?
Yes, so we actually we approved the land bank sale of the lot for parking for this particular site, particularly because of the fact that there's limited parking for a lot of the businesses along some of our major corridors, and we want to try to make sure that the buildings continue to be viable. So we are supportive of the use of parking. In terms of the number of variances, there were quite a few there, and I think a lot of those are things that can actually be met. We can work with the applicant to get him to come a lot closer to what the code requires. It does have to go through design review. It has not been there yet, and so we can. I think once we work through the project through design review, we can start to address some of those issues with things like the wheel stops, the setbacks, and the other longer list of items that need to be addressed.
So, but if we grant them all today,
No, I'm not suggesting that you grant all of those variances today.
Okay. I don't know. It kind of sounds like to me this might need a pause until it goes through design review or whatever process it needs.
Yes.
Okay, board, any questions, input?
It does sound to me like we need to like it does need a postponement as well. Is this the only drawing that we have at this time in any event?
Which drawing? Which one? Can you display that for me, please? I downloaded 4 drawings to the site, to the city I guess application or
Acela
account. Yeah,
It looks like right now, Mr. Snowball, that all we have, and by the way, I love your name.
Thank you.
By the way, it looks
have
like
2.
right now all we have is a site plan. So I think you know, I think we'd want to see like a section drawing of drainage proposed and those sorts of things anyway before we would approve. So I think I am in agreement with Ms. Fields from City Planning that you should probably postpone, work with her, go through design review, and then come back to us. Is that what you had in mind, Madam Chair?
Yes. And you know me, I hate postponing cases, but I feel like we're not ready to hear this one. So, Ms. Fields, can you continue to work with Mr. Snowball to get through the requisite processes he needs to do before coming back to BZA? And how long do you think he would need for a postponement? 30 days or more than that?
I would say at least 30 days. I mean, it only takes a couple weeks to get on the agenda, but I want him to have time to respond and to make the changes. So, and that depends on how quickly he can get us the plans, the revised plans showing some of the changes responding to the variances that he's requesting.
Thank you. Ms. Kukla, what do we have coming up that what agenda can we put them on?
So we have hearings August 23rd and August 30th. The first week in September, of course, is Labor Day. We're not going to have a quorum that week. And then the next week after that is September 13th.
Okay, Mr. Snowball and or Ms. Fields can chime in to what date you think is best for you.
I would recommend the 13th because I think he's going to need time to make those changes.
September 13th.
Is that enough time?
So again, what are you saying the changes that you propose with those new variances?
Yeah,
because again, I do have. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I overtalked you.
List of variances. I don't know how quickly your architect can respond to that, or your the contractor that you're working with.
But again, I have those drawings. Again, you aren't seeing them, but they are there now. I mean, for sure. I mean, okay. So.
Do you have a drawing that meets the code?
The drawings are on the site. Yeah, I downloaded them onto the site. Yes. I got 4 drawings. One is the one is the topographical drawing of the existing site. The second is the proposed changes. The third is one showing the grading that is required, and then the landscaping.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I don't have those drawings.
Yeah, I mean,
the site. I mean,
we don't accept. We don't go into the Acela system. So those drawings you have to send directly to Ms. Kukla for zoning cases.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. Okay. All right.
Madam Chair.
Yes,
I believe
ma'am.
Ms. Kukla also sent you a letter when this was put on the agenda telling you that.
I didn't get the letter. I didn't get any letter. The only way I knew that of this date of the meeting was calling Ms. Jones, you know, because I didn't get it as indicated. And as you know, the mail is bad. Even the link to this
Right.
meeting, I didn't get till this morning. So I didn't get all of those things in that far in advance.
Okay, well, we're gonna postpone your case so that you can have
Okay.
time to go through design review and work with Ms. Fields, and you can probably eliminate some of these variances before you even come back. So we'll put it on September 13th. We'll put it on that agenda, and that'll give you time to work everything out. And that way will be the last step for you to, you know, get your project underway. All right, Mr. Snowball, you understand?
I hear you. Yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay,
All
so
right,
we're gonna
bye.
postpone to September 13th without objection, board.
Without objection.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ready to move on, Madam Chair?
Yes, let's keep it going.
Okay, calendar number 21-099 at 6818 and 6904 Dennison Avenue. CLE Ohio Properties LLC owner proposes to expand a motor vehicle sales facility and erect a new 2,700 square foot motor vehicle service garage in a B1 semi-industry district in a C2 general retail business district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances, of which there are 3, stated in the agenda and the public record. For all those making statements on this case, I would ask you to raise your right hand. I'm going to read you a statement. Following that statement, your response would be "I do," and state your name one at a time clearly for the recorder. Please raise your right hand. I solemnly swear or affirm that the statement I am about to give is the truth and the whole truth. And now you state your name.
I do. Wissam Iwais.
I do. Kristen Zolas.
Anyone else? Okay, Madam Chair, to you.
Thank you. On the history, Ms. Kukla.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In our Records Administration Office, I only found a permit for 6904, and that was to erect a 2-story dwelling garage. And then in 1941, to erect the 2-story dwelling was in 1899. And that was also the date that they erected the garage. In 1941, a permit was issued to demolish a garage and also enclose a front porch with glass. There are 2 variances relevant to this case, about variance applications. In calendar 18-276, a request was made to expand the parking on the site. This case was dismissed as the appellant did not show for the hearing. The applicant reapplied under 19-65, again to expand the parking lot. And this case was withdrawn, and the notes were that the drawings were revised and approved by Building and Housing for zoning per Rick Riccardi. So then we see later, then back to the Acela system. The only thing I found for 68-18 is there were food license issued to the property from 2004 through 2018. We see that there was a 2-story frame dwelling demolished on the property earlier this year, as well as the garage. And then there is a violation notice that was issued in May of 2021 as stating that the site is being used as illegal operation as auto repair. That's all that I have, Madam Chair.
That's enough. Legal standard. Ms. Wagner.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Appellant is requesting area variances from the off-street parking requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, Appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code. And I would note that item number 3 that states that new construction of a motor vehicle service garage requires approval of the City Planning Commission Department. The board cannot grant a variance from that provision. If the applicant seeks that approval and it's denied, they would have a right to appeal to the board, but they are required to do so to make that application.
Thank you, Ms. Wagner. Maurice?
So, Madam Chair, this application is to construct a new auto service repair garage, and it is needed to have the parking area properly graded and drained, just as in the last two cases we just saw. And we also have them parking cars in the 10-foot specific setback on Denison Avenue.
I see. Okay. Who's ever here to represent, go ahead and present your case.
Hello there. My name is Wissam Iwais. And basically, we're just trying to make the dealership bigger. And then with the approvals of the city for drainage and sewerage, we plan on moving forward. I've already talked to an engineer, an architect, and a surveyor to start this project, but I can't move forward without the permission of the city.
Okay, can you give a little more information? So you are looking to expand your current already existing motor vehicle lot, is that correct?
Yes, correct. All 3 parcels we've owned for the past several years. The one parcel is about 20 years. We've been in the same business for about 20 years. I mean, that's about it. We just want to expand since business is going good. I believe it'll be a good look to the Denison Avenue area, the Stockyard neighborhood, putting a lot of money in the area as well. And then with the city's approval, I plan on doing whatever is asked to get it right.
Okay. Anyone for city planning? Is it you, Maurice?
Yeah, can we hear from the Metro West, Kristen?
Sure.
Yes, this is Kristen Zolas from Metro West. I mean, we don't take issue with the service garage here. We do think it's an appropriate location, but we do think the owner needs to follow the code for setbacks and grading with proper drainage.
And city planning would definitely echo those sentiments. Kristen, do you know if this has been before the design review, the local design review committee?
This has not, but I don't think this is no, it has not.
All new construction has to go through the City Planning Commission. I'm not sure if that would be taken through the local committee first or not. And the planner for this area is not available at the moment. I'm not sure if it's gone through City Planning.
Madam Chair?
That puts us in a predicament here. Yes, Liz.
So from the applicant's testimony, it seems as though he wishes to comply with code. So if the appellant can state on the record, is he saying that he would not park cars within the 10-foot specific setback on Denison, and that he is willing to pave and drain the site as required by the zoning code? Those are the 2 items that are on the agenda this morning.
Yeah, you understand how you're currently parking cars. You can't do that.
Yes, I mean, I can move them today, ma'am. I can move them as soon as we get off this meeting. I have no problem with complying with any codes and any permits that you guys need.
So Mr. Rulins, back to the drawing, does it show that there will be a frontage landscape strip as there isn't one right now?
It shows a 6-foot frontage landscape strip.
It looks like it does. Yeah.
Yeah. It does show that. I don't have any details of what that landscaping looks like in the plans here. But if they, if they're willing to meet all of those two requirements, then we would fully support this project. I would echo Kristen's comments that this is an appropriate location for this business, that they've been here for a long time, and it looks like they're going to upgrade, so we would totally be in support of the upgrades.
Okay, the appellant seems willing to do what we asked him to do. Board, any questions or comments?
Madam Chair, I believe our council person or our board member that is absent today would probably want to see a landscaping plan and a cut image of the fencing that's going to go along there. So, and I think that is something that should probably be submitted in addition to these plans as a provision to any approval we might make today.
Agreed. I think if there is an approval, those stipulations definitely should be in there. So, any other questions or comments from board or Maurice?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Ms. Kukla.
So those are the only two issues are regarding the 10-foot setback along Dennison, and again, the parking spaces and driveways being paved and drained. The applicant has stated that he is acquiring an engineer to come up with those drawings. So it seems as though he should withdraw today and go back and work with the CDC to develop a plan that meets the code, and then he should reapply to Building and Housing or submit those drawings back to Building and Housing to update them for the specific permit application.
And then he wouldn't have to come back.
Right, he wouldn't have to come back to this board. However, the board could postpone the case until we see that those drawings are done, and then, have the applicant to withdraw then. I'm not, that's an option, but it's weird because they're not going to need a variance down the road if he complies.
Right. So, yeah, I think that's good advice, actually. I don't know why it's withdrawal day at BZA, but today. But yeah, I actually like that plan that it seems like his major two variances here he can address without like coming back to us per se, because the third one doesn't have anything to do with us. So, sir, do you understand what we're saying? If you withdraw your case today, you can work with the CDC and your engineers and architects to make sure that you meet the two variances that are on the list today, and then you won't have to come back. You understand?
Yeah. So, Madam Chair, just one more thing. The applicant should know that this hearing this morning is not giving you a permit. You will still have to apply to Building and Housing to get your permit. So you need to continue with the process. Otherwise, you will not have that, you will not be able to get your certificate of occupancy until that site plan has been approved. So please work with the Development Corporation to come up with that satisfactory plan and then submit it back to Building and Housing and keep it moving forward, because your goal is to get that certificate of occupancy at the end of all this. So just to remind you, this is not your permit hearing today. This is just regarding those two variances that sounds like you're not going to need once you get that revised drawing. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I completely understand, and I'm willing to do so. Is the one thing they were asking for is variance for the zoning approval. So do I have that for this case to continue to work on this project?
Madam Chair, to the appellant, no, you would not have your zoning approval today because you're not going to need it. Based on your testimony, you're going to revise the drawings. You're going to move those parking spaces that are in the front back the required 10 feet. Then you're going to show that you're going to have a specific landscaping there, which you're going to need to show a schedule of exactly what you're planning there for Building and Housing. And that drawing should also show the draining and the paving for those parking spaces. So no, this sounds as though from your testimony, you're not going to need a variance, but you still need that zoning approval which is going to come after you update that plan and resubmit to Building and Housing. Understand?
Yes, okay, just to make sure, so you guys want the pictures and drawings for the drainage as well as the 10-foot with the landscaping before we could continue, correct?
Correct. But you have to submit those to Building and Housing, and then that way you will eliminate the variances you need today, and that way you won't have to come back to us.
Not a problem at all. I'll get on that right away.
Okay.
And and I'm sure Kristen would be more than happy to work with you on working through the process.
Right.
One more thing, is there a contact number I can get? Because I mean, I'm new to this. I'm only 28 years old. I plan on doing the right thing. I just need some help with the process.
Sure.
Yeah. Kristen, can you get the appellant your contact info?
Yes, and I know you've been in touch with Chris Harsh, so if you contact Chris, he can give you my information as well. We'll be in touch. We have your info.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much.
Great, thank you. So
Thank you.
just officially ask us for a withdrawal so we can rule on it. Sorry, you have to ask us to withdraw your case.
You have to ask for the withdrawal.
Yeah.
We didn't catch that.
Can I please request for a withdrawal on this case?
Yes, without objection, board?
Without objection.
Without objection.
Great. All right, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you guys.
Sir,
Have fun.
Sir, just a reminder, please keep it moving. Otherwise, you're still going to get those violation notices as illegal operations. So please reach out to them and keep that process going.
Yeah, I'm on my way to move those cars 10 feet back, and I'll reach out to Chris today.
Great, thank you.
Thank you guys. Have a great
Car was in the driveway.
Madam Chair, to Mr. Rulins or Ms. Kukla, can we give the appellant the contact information if he doesn't already have it for his city planner for that area as well? That
Sure,
might
I believe
help expedite his
that's
process.
Matt Moss.
Okay.
Oh,
I only have a phone number right here in front of me for Mr. Eways. I can make a note to call him this afternoon and send him that information.
that'll be great. Please and thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kukla.
I'm just sending it to you in the chat.
Oh, I see. And can I also just ensure she got the right cell phone number to contact me later?
Sure, if you could send it in the chat window to just me.
Yeah, just make sure you select Elizabeth Kukla so you don't put it out there for everyone to see. I'm sure you don't want your phone number out there on YouTube.
Yeah,
I know I wouldn't.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not sure how to do that. I guess I'll try to reach out then. And
well, we have your email address because we sent you the
They can email
invitations,
you, yeah.
so we can send it to you.
can you please and thank you?
All right, thank you.
Great.
All right, moving on to the next case, Ms. Faye.
Moving on. To case number, calendar number 21-0, excuse me, let me start over. Calendar number 21, calendar number 21-103 at 17014 Laverne Avenue. Melanie Lauricia, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that name, Melanie, owner proposes to erect a 38-foot by 30-foot, one-story frame gable detached garage with open patio area in an A1 one-family district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances, of which there are two, as stated in the agenda and the public record. All those people that are going to be making statements on this case, I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand. I'm going to read a statement. Following that statement, you're going to respond, I do, and then state your name clearly, one at a time, for the recorder. Here we go. Please raise your right hand. I do swear and affirm that the testimony I'm about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
I do. Melanie Larisha.
I do. Christopher Ice.
Is there anyone else?
Nope.
Okay. Back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Faith. History of property, please, Ms. Kukla.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In the Records Administration Office, I found that a permit was issued in 1936 to erect a new dwelling and private garage. There are no variances on file for this address, and in 2009, a permit was issued to remove and replace windows and doors. That's all that I have, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Legal standard, please, Ms. Wagner.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Appellant is requesting area variances from the accessory building setback and maximum square footage requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Thank you, Maurice.
Yes, Madam Chair, we are looking at a case for a new parking, a new garage. And the problems here, or the variances here, are that they are proposing 12 inches on all of the sides, where a garage needs to be 18 inches from the property line. They're also proposing a garage that exceeds the area of a garage by 933 square feet.
All right, thank you. Okay, go ahead and present your case.
Thank you for hearing our appeal today. We've lived in our home since 2007. We've done a variety of repairs, and this by far is our most substantial DIY to make the property exactly fit our needs. And, you know, the 6 inches of space to the property line on either side and those extra square footage may not be substantial, but it provides a great relief to us. And we were really committed to keeping in mind the essential character of the property. We've talked to our neighbors, and we really do believe there's justice in allowing these two variances due to the following factors, and one of those really being those conversations that we've had with our neighbors and their support, both on the right and the left side of us have also written and submitted letters of support. And then also we believe that there is a precedent in the neighborhood for a larger garage footprint. So in speaking of those letters of support, Paul Cole, he lives right to the right of me. I actually have a copy of his letter that he gave Dan in support. And then Dan Haddock is right to the left of me, who also provided his support. There are nearby garages that have a larger footprint, so I'm hoping that that can be kept in mind. This is just a very immediate from our street examples. Again, I want to make sure that the garage fits with the neighborhood. It's not an eyesore to my neighbors. We're making sure that we do everything possible so that it matches the look and feel of our home, and also that there's proper drainage and is an upgrade from what we have today. So here's the overall site plan. Again, you'll see the 1 foot between the property line to both the right and left sides. We're maintaining a 3 foot difference from the back property. The rest of the drawings submitted as elevations and wall structure are included, but we're open to any questions or addressing any concerns.
So is this going to replace your current garage right now? Is that?
It is.
Yes.
Yes, my current garage is in bad repair, so this would be a replacement and certainly an upgrade for us.
Okay, and will this garage be directly back on the side of the old garage? It's just it'll be bigger?
It will be, yes.
Okay. Okay, city planning?
Madam Chair, yes, we have no problem with the larger garage. However, we would like to see them meet the 18 inches on either side of the garage. We don't really feel there's any hardship here, other than the fact that they want a larger garage. And there is a covered patio on the one side. They could take the 1 foot off the covered patio and then maintain the 18 inches. As you know, they may have support from their neighbors, but there's no guarantee that the neighbors will be there forever. And by being less than 18 inches from the property line, you're basically imposing on your neighbor on what they can do on their property.
Thank you. Board, any questions?
Maurice, can we go back? Do we have a plan view of this so I can see the dimensions of the actual structure of the garage?
I think those were the ones that were just up.
Yeah, right. That's I'm just want. So basically, what we're looking at is a fairly the dimensions of a fairly standard 2-car garage, but what puts it into overage is the 18 feet of covered patio area. Is that correct to the appellant?
That's correct. We're hoping to use the covered patio for additional square footage and storage.
And you heard the statement by Mr. Rulins. Are you willing to reduce the size of that patio area so you could slide your garage over to fall within the guidelines of the code to the 18 inches?
We're hoping for variance today to go to 1 foot on each side. It's definitely in line with actually what neighborhood dimensions are. Both my property, my neighbors to the property to the right and left have the same thing. And there's no issue. They're able to share a fence line still and maintain that distance. So we're hoping that we can be allowed the same variance.
Do you have any plans for parking a car on that open patio area?
Not as a general day-to-day. We would like to do projects under there and occasionally may use it for car storage.
Okay. Maurice, there have a rebuttal to your 1 foot.
Again, I don't see, there's no hardship here, other than the fact that they want a larger garage.
Yeah,
and I do feel that the 6 inches on either side does make a difference, because now if somebody wants to put a garage or something over on either side of that house, they have to be an extra 6 inches away, or you have to grant another variance to the neighbors.
There are currently garages that are built, there's no change in the footprint coming for those. We would be, close to the neighbor's garage, but there would still be room to get in and make any repairs necessary, to siding. It would certainly be close. I mean, we're living on a 40 by 160 plot, so things do get quite tight. But we're confident that we'd be able to get in between the two garages to make any repairs necessary and not encroach on their
And Madam Chair, I might point out that we rarely grant these variances for the 18 inches for garages. I mean, 18 inches is very close as it is.
Yeah. So do you guys understand? I mean, is it really a hardship not to bring your patio in 1 foot?
It would make things very, very tight on what we're hoping to store, and as far as a layout, which is why we applied for the variance today.
Okay, I'm just trying to lay out to try to compromise, because if the board decides to deny you today, then you won't be able to do anything, versus if you kind of work with planning and move that 1 foot over, then you'll have your new garage with just 1 foot less. So,
well, the 1 foot total reduction then.
Maurice, you're just saying on the patio side, correct?
Well, I'm saying you could easily take it off of the patio side and then slide it over so it's 18 inches on either side, because you're basically short a foot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just a foot, so 6 inches on either side that we're looking to have variance on. So 6 inches, 6 inches on either side. And again, we did have the letter in there from both of my neighbors. I do understand they're my current neighbors. They're also both long-term residents and have updated garages in place already.
It's not getting through. So I understand you want what you want, but I'm trying to relate to you that if the board decides not to grant your variance today, then you'll have to go back to the drawing board and may not get what you want. But if you're willing to go negotiate with planning and move it over as Mr. Rulins talked about, then you probably have a better chance of approval and you can get what you want minus a few inches. So do you understand what I'm saying?
I do. We can, so would we submit new drawings, or today, if we agree to shrink the 6 inches on each side, we could move forward with a variance for the square footage? Do I understand correct?
Yes, we could grant it. We could grant it for you today, and then you would just have to submit the new plan before we can ratify it. But that's pretty much how the process would go.
Okay, so we could receive variance today on square footage and then submit revised plans to the Board of Appeals, or back within the permit process for the distance to property line.
They have to go do these. Have to go back through building housing, right? Liz, she can just send them to us.
No, she could send the updated drawing to us, though. We're gonna make that part of the resolution conditions, right, Madam Chair?
Yes. Yes.
So we would need to see the updated drawings sent to us, and then we would send those back to building and housing when it's time, when the applicant tells us to send it back. So, and again, to the applicant, it seems like you have an option to keep the size of your garage. You would just need to take a foot overall off of that covered patio. And so that, yes. So submit the drawings to us, please.
Will do. Thank you.
Okay. No other questions, Board. I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, given the testimony that we have heard from the appellant and from city planning, the appellant is willing to amend her plans to come in compliance with the setback of 18 inches on the necessary sides, and submit new drawings to us indicating that the structure is now in compliance. With that, I move that we go ahead and approve 21-103 conditionally, and with to ratify after we receive new plans.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Call the roll, Ms. Kuka.
Ms. Barnes?
Yes.
Ms. Faith?
Yes.
Ms. Britt?
Yes.
Calendar 21-103 is granted conditionally pending those updated drawings. If we don't receive them this week before the next hearing, we will hold ratification until we receive those drawings, and we will send you a letter once ratification is done.
Thank you. I'll send the updated drawings. Thank you for your time today.
Thanks for working with us. Have a
Thank
good one.
you.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Okay, moving along to Mr. Rulins. We are at 2341 Scranton. Is that correct?
That is
There we
correct,
are.
Ms.
Okay.
Faith.
I needed to shrink my screen back down. Calendar number 21-106 at 2341 Scranton Road. 3004 St. Clair LLC owner proposes to make exterior alterations and build a parking lot in a G3 local retail business district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances, of which there are 4, as stated in the agenda and the public record. Will all those wishing to make statements for this case, I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand. I'll read a statement. Your response to that statement will be "I do," and state your name following clearly, one at a time, for the recorder. All those wishing to make statements for this case, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Lucas Steib, AODK Architecture.
I do. Donna Gregonis, Tremont West Development Corporation.
Anyone else?
I do. Bob Brophy, Davy Resource Group.
Anyone else? Okay, Madam Chair, to you.
Thank you. History of the property, please, Ms. Kukla.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The property was originally zoned semi-industry in 1929. In 2012, it was placed in the local retail business district. In the Records Administration Office, I only found that in 1899, a permit was issued to erect a one-story addition. And I did go back to the 1930s Sanborn map and found that the building was labeled Auto Truck Body Factory. So there is one variance on file in calendar 20-105. This was, of course, last year. There was a request for building additions and change of use to mixed use, contrary to the driveway and front yard setbacks being substandard. So that variance was granted conditionally based upon a revised site plan showing landscaping and a dumpster enclosure, and also a revised drawing and pending proof of the lot consolidation. So, Madam Chair, I did not see in the Acela system that the permit was actually issued for that variance. I only found that a permit was issued to apply for to store moderate hazard materials. So that's all that I have, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting area variances from the off-street parking and screening requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Thank you, Ms. Wagner. Maurice?
Right, so we have another parking lot today.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of parking lots.
Parking. Yeah, we got a lot going on today.
And again, we have variances for proper grading and drainage, and a landscape plan, and also parking in the setback.
Thank you. Lucas, are you the spokesperson?
I am.
Okay, go ahead, present the case.
Okay, I had submitted. Okay, there it is. Thank you very much. So we're actually coming to you guys, as Liz had mentioned, a year later after our first variances were approved. And if we could slide through these, I can give you kind of a general timeline of why we're doing that. So the building, as originally proposed, is a mixed use at 2341 Scranton Road. It has been submitted and approved for building permit to receive 8 residential units and 1 rentable commercial space at the corner of Scranton and Kenilworth. And then we were originally proposing some parking spaces that we'll get to, and we were provided variances for. Today, what we are asking for is basically an extension of those same variances as the building property owner has purchased the lot directly north of the one originally in question, has consolidated all the lots, and would just like to expand the originally proposed parking lot to include that more northern lot. So right now we're thumbing through the original images of the building before any work had begun. Here is the image that we're looking at currently. This was the original parking lot that was proposed. It was just this one strip that you're seeing the 3 cars on. The lot in between the car to the right and the new building to the right, it has been acquired. So that's okay. Where you're seeing that crane, that property has been purchased by the owner and has been consolidated, and now he would like to propose a larger parking lot than what was originally approved. So here was the site plan that was originally submitted in 2020. Similar variances were requested where we were proposing parking off of the Scranton setback. Although there is landscaping and dumpster enclosure provided, that was an item that was listed on the first letter and again listed on this one. Not sure why, but we are happy to, show whatever is required in order to meet standards. But what we are looking for today is the setback variance and the landscape variance 6-foot landscape variance. So those were the letters of approval and support back in 2020. And the one provision that was required was as Liz had mentioned, was a lot consolidation, which was later provided and then updated to include this more northern lot that we will be discussing today. So the building permit has been established, and the building is currently under its revitalization and construction. And here is the site plan that we are proposing today. So as you can see, the lot immediately adjacent to the building in the original proposal is still there. Then the more northern lot is now included in that. And what the owner hopes to do here is, by expanding this lot, he is hoping to provide two devoted tenant parking spots per unit. So he has 7 rentable units on the ground floor. He is hoping to provide 14 secure parking spots accessed off of West 16th, which you're seeing on the right side of the north parking lot. With the remaining space, there is available room for 6 parking spots, which would be accessed off of Scranton Road on the left side of the lot. And those spots would be open use or public use for either the commercial space or visitors to the apartment tenants. I think that, yes, go ahead.
Oh, no, were you done?
I think there's, if you keep going to the next slide, I think that it'll list, yes, here's our zoning letter of nonconformance. If you can go one more, I just want to just quickly go through the items here. So accessory off-street parking, this was just referring to the drainage of this proposed north parking. We have Bob Brophy from Davy Resource, who put together the civil drawings, which are included in this packet. They have been submitted to WPC and have received preliminary approval pending this discussion today. But as far as drainage goes, everything is planned for to city requirements. The landscape plan required, as I had mentioned, there is landscaping proposed and previously approved included on there. The 6-foot landscape screen is one of the items we would be looking for a variance today. And then parking in the prohibited setback is another item that had been previously approved at a BZA hearing in 2020. And we're just looking to extend that to include this more northern expanded parking.
Great, thank you. City planning?
I'd like to hear from Donna Gregonis, see what they local.
Oh, I forgot all about Donna. I didn't write your name down, Donna. Sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. Donna Gregonis, Neighborhood Development Director for Tremont West Development Corporation and Ohio City Incorporated. So this was reviewed, as the applicant mentioned, and approved over a year ago by the Block Club and the Economic Development Committee of Tremont West Development Corporation. But this did not include the two additional variances that are being requested today. And I know that in instances like this, the Tremont West Development Economic Development Committee would generally like to make sure that there is drainage and landscaping screening here. So that is something that was that would typically be reviewed and asked for in instances like this. But over a year ago it was approved, but just not this full scope, as they said that they did add additional parking here. So thank you.
So the committee was okay with how they presented the previous parking lot. So if they're using the same elements in the new parking lot, you all will be okay with that?
I believe so.
Okay.
And just to piggyback on that, we went to the Block Club with the original proposal and had approval there. And then just so there was no surprises, we went last Monday to the Block Club again, just to show us that there was unanimous approval. And there's a letter included in this packet from Lincoln Heights Block Club for their support.
Great, thank you. Donna, you okay with that, or?
So, it's hard for me to speak on behalf of the Economic Development Committee. But
yeah, no, I just mean in general as far as Ohio City goes. Yes.
Or Tremont. Yes, I think it would be.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That it's pretty similar. If there is screening here at the parking area, that would be ideal.
Yeah, it looks like it. Is that a, you got, look like you have some landscape buffers, and is that a fence cut out on there as well?
Yep,
Lucas?
yep, yep.
Okay.
Thank
There
you,
is-
Madam Chair and members of the board.
You're welcome. And sorry, I forgot about you, Donna. I won't do that again. Okay, Maurice.
Okay.
Yeah, I have some comments from the planner from the area, Matt Moss. He would very much like them to meet the screening requirements. I'm looking at these drawings. I see that they're only proposing 2'6" of screening when they're required to put 6. He would also like to see the first 2 spots removed so that they're not parking in the setback. So it'll be here and here. And those are the comments from the neighborhood planner.
Lucas, are you willing to do that?
Yeah, I spoke to Matt Moss on the phone. You know, the owner is hoping to really maximize the parking here, and that was always the goal, even with the original proposal. The community and everyone was on board with that, and variances were granted. I believe Matt Moss was even on that call in 2020, with expressing some concerns, but in the end, providing some support, as well as a letter from Tremont West in 2020 providing their support. So all we're doing here is just continuing those same elements just to the north lot. We wouldn't, it wouldn't be the owner's preference to eliminate those parking spots, especially at that point where the public parking area would then just be dropping down to 4 rather than 6.
Okay. Maurice, I don't know, Matt's not here to negotiate this, so.
No. Well, I'm sorry, what was the last comment, 4 to 6? I missed that.
So if you're looking at the north parking lot as a whole, there are 14 secure spots on the right-hand side. So if you go just a little bit right, almost to 1/3 of the way across, you'll see a fence heading up and down through the parking lot. That is kind of the divider between the 14 spots on the right side that are accessed off of West 16th, and then the 6 spots on the left side that are accessed off of Scranton Road. The 6 spots on the left side are the kind of what we're calling public or general use parking, open to anyone. There won't be a gate on that side restricting access. There may be signs saying, parking for Scranton Avenue Carriage Works tenants only or users only, but those spots are the ones that would be affected by eliminating 2 in order to achieve the non-encroachment issue. And so those would go from 6 to 4 at that point, which we think would is not the owner's preference, and from everything we heard from Block Club and Tremont West would not be their preference either.
Okay, while Maurice is thinking about that, board, any questions? Hearing none.
Well, we just lost the site plan on the screen. So could you just remind me, please, Lucas, what the dimension is between the parking spaces? The general turnaround area? Is it 30 feet?
1 second. I'm going to give you an exact dimension.
I just wanted to make one comment. And the reason I went back to these pictures is I'm seeing that there are windows on the adjacent townhouses that will face the parking lot. Is there a screening fence being proposed along that line as well?
There is. If you
Because
can
if
jump
not,
back.
okay.
Yes, go ahead. There is a fence along the northern property line. I'm not sure what we can do. We can only, the zoning only allows us to do a 6-foot fence. So those upper apartments will have views into there. But there is
It's just hard to read.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
When I zoom in, it gets real blurry. So steel and frame, wood slat fence. Okay. I think the fence is very important to screen headlights as people are pulling in and out.
Absolutely.
And that's pretty much going to be a solid fence then?
Yes. Yep. There's a detail of the fence just to the right of this drawing.
Yep. Okay. Let me zoom back out.
Yeah, we're 27
okay.
feet.
Still board-on-board fence. Okay.
And then, Miss Faith, did you get the dimension you needed?
Yeah, it looks like it's only 27. So my thought was perhaps we could gain a little, little more in that landscape strip by eating into the turnaround, but it at 27 we can't really.
Yes, yeah, it's kind of tight already there.
Yeah.
Yep, and I believe the landscape screening that the nonconformist letter is requesting is off of Scranton too, so that would again interfere with those two spots that were in question. You know, we would definitely like to maximize that screening to the north, and we plan to both for a landscape buffer for everyone's benefit. But yeah, I believe if I'm reading the nonconformist letter correctly, it's the 6-foot screening would be off of Scranton that we're looking for the variance for.
Right.
And there will be, you know, there is an existing strip of grass between the building and the new sidewalk on that street. And if we lay out this parking lot to those standards, that grass strip or potential landscape strip will exist. And you know, pending approval by the city, the owner is planning to reside in this building, so he's going to take care of this like his home, and he plans to keep it landscaped very nicely.
Great. Board, any other questions?
I don't have any other questions.
All right, I'll entertain a motion, please.
Given the testimony that we've heard from the CDC and the appellant's representative, and the fact that we've heard this case last year, I think we're the excuse me, I'm blanking here on the word I want to use. That case is still fresh in our mind with regard to the requirements. I move that we go ahead and approve these variances.
Have a second?
Madam Chair, just one other comment. Are you approving the variance which states that it is not properly graded and drained? And I'm not really sure why that's on there because it appears to be properly.
Yeah, it looks like they're not doing that. So
that was a question of mine as well. Both you know, I know that they're requesting
yes.
the landscape screening. That would be a variance we would be looking for today. But as far as the proposed landscaping plan, you know, we are showing landscaping plan that was approved back in 2020 on here as well. And then yes, to Mr. Rulin's point, you know, there is a fully engineered set of drawings, drainaged appropriately to meet city requirements, and they have been pre-approved by WPC. So wasn't sure how we move on those.
Yeah, and I figured as much. I just didn't want the board to grant a variance for an improperly drained, oh my gosh, I can't talk either, drained and graded parking lot because we never grant those variances. That's all.
Good catch on that. I don't know why it's written up that way if they were submitted as already paved and drained. So just Alana, make sure in the motion you make an amendment to that.
Right. We have those plans, don't we? Isn't there
Yes.
a section? There's a section drawing with that?
Yes, we have them. So that's why I'm not sure
is.
why it was written up with them not having it being done
Right.
when it is.
And maybe it was a matter of the initial drawings didn't have it. I don't know, but you know, that's building and housing.
Okay. So we're going to amend the motion to include the fact that we do have, with regard to variance number 1, section 349.07, with regard to draining the parking area, we do have drawings on hand addressing that. So that variance is fulfilled. So we're really looking at section at number 2, 3, and 4, sections 352.04, 352.10, and 357.14 as those variances that we're approving.
Thank you. We have a second. We have a second.
Second.
Thank you. Call the roll, Ms. Cooper.
Madam Chair, if I could just double check, the only variances that we are granting today are item 3 and 4. I think that number 2 is also, they're going to comply with that because they just need to see the landscape plan details. So we would be granting item number 3 and 4, right?
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Okay, I'll call the roll.
Okay, okay.
Ms.
Good
Barnes?
catch.
Ms. Barnes, yes.
Ms. Faith?
Yes.
Ms. Britt?
Yes.
Calendar 21-106 is granted with the understanding that we are only granting items 3 and 4 regarding section 352.10 and 357.14. It'll be ratified next week and we will send you a letter.
And that is because the drawings have shown that they met the other two. So make sure we have that. Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Good luck.
Moving on, Ms. Faith.
Moving on, I believe this is our last case for today. Yes, it is. So this is, this case was postponed from May 17th, 2021. This is calendar number 21-034 at 9322 Nelson Avenue. 9305 Garfield LLC owner proposes to renovate and use as an office and a warehouse this building in a B1 two-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and public record, and there are 4. The third postponement was made at the request of the appellant to allow time to acquire a nearby land bank lot. The first and second postponements were made at the request of the city and the appellant to allow time for design and review to take place. So we have, we are looking to see all of those issues resolved today. Now, for all those people that are going to be making statements in this case, I would ask that you, I'm going to be reading a statement at the end of that statement. You are going to reply, I do, and state your name one at a time clearly for the recorder. At this point, you're going to raise your right hand and you're going to, and this is the affirmation. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. Richard December.
I do. Martha Fields.
Is that everyone? Okay, back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. History of the property, Ms. Cuckoo.
Well, we already had that.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Right, because we heard this already. All right. Legal standard, please.
Is Lori on mute?
You might be muted, Lori.
I'm sorry, I didn't press it hard enough. Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting a use variance and area variances from the off-street parking, landscaping, and screening requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the use variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will result in an unnecessary hardship particular to the property, such that there will be no economically feasible use of the property without the variance, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and the granting of the variance not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
All righty. Thank you. Who's here to represent? Oh, I'm sorry, Maurice, you need a summary right quick. Just a quick one, because we've heard this like several times.
So right. I mean, the biggest issue here was the lack of parking for this property. You know, they were written up for the landscaping, the use actually as well. But the biggest issue that we had was the parking and the acquisition of the land bank lot next door. So that's what we're looking at.
Right. All righty. So Richard, go ahead and talk about what you got going on now.
Yeah, so if possible, we could keep this picture up so I can highlight some of the edits that we've made since our last session. There was a request to remove the fence, and the there was a parked truck on the well. You see that in some of the previous pictures. Both of those have been removed in addition to exterior painting to improve the street appeal. So we've made those amendments. To Mr. Maurice's point, the big item here was the parking. Just given the tight perimeter and constraints of land, we did not have the ability to have the requisite 5 parking spots. As a result, we worked with Mr. Robbins from the land bank to complete the application for the 2 adjacent lots, which would be on the west side of the building. There are 2 lots. We've completed that process. We received an email from Mr. Robbins and the land bank stating that their approval of granting us those lots is contingent upon, I'm reading from the email now, is contingent upon obtaining the variances from this particular committee to use it as a parking lot. I'm not sure if Mr. Robbins is on the phone, but we received that email on May 17th.
That's actually Miss Robbins.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. My apologies. My apologies.
I don't think she's on the call, but just just for clarification.
Just in case she wants to look at this
Sorry
case
to
later.
interrupt. Go ahead.
Please don't hold that against me. Thank you. So yes, we did have. I'm sorry. I saw the name Carrie with a Y, and I think there was a mistake. So my apologies. So thank you. So we have the email communication again. I'm just going back here, revisiting this, that contingent upon the variance here. So that would address the 2 variances in reference to the parking lot. It was the lack of space and the maneuverability that were needed. If we're granted those 2 lots, it would address both of those components.
And a landscape transition.
As well as the landscape transition strip as well. So I'll pause there before we talk about the shift in intended use.
Do we have did you submit an updated site plan?
Yeah, I was just about to ask that because I didn't.
So is it in here?
Yes, we submitted both of them. If you keep going through, it should be close. Keep going. Yep.
That was the original one, correct?
Yeah, that was the original one. We uploaded it to the site.
Maurice,
The old one.
the updated drawing was sent to you 8 a.m. on Friday.
I thought I had that in here. Well, I'll have to, let me look for it. I thought I had it on here.
We emailed it to Ms. Kukla.
Okay, well, while Maurice is looking at that, Ms. Field, you want to chime in here?
Yes, so we did meet with them. The application has gone to the land bank department. It's there, the review is supposed to happen after August 9th. But of course, the approval is contingent upon the zoning variance. I did talk to the council person. He's also in support. So, and the CDC is in support of this. The only thing that we would say is the parking will need to be done to code. There's should be enough space on the 2 land bank lots to build the parking to code. I think the only thing that the other things that we would recommend approval for is the use, as well as I think the 10-foot landscape strip between the residential and his property, because it doesn't appear that there's enough room to actually make that happen.
Okay.
So they would just do some landscaping in between the 2. It just wouldn't be 10 feet. So our recommendation is for approval with those conditions.
Madam Chair, to Ms. Fields, do you have a distance that you think is going to work instead of the 10 feet?
Well, it's what's existing. And I'm not sure what that, what the measurement is there, but I know that it's, I mean, the building is like up kind of close to the property line. So there's
It
not
is.
really, I mean, you can't shift you would have to shift the building, which you can't do.
Right, okay. Thanks.
Yeah, I think we've heard this case enough. So, and I think the appellant has done, each time they come back, they've done everything we've asked them to do. So, if Board, you're okay, I will entertain a motion.
Is there any other conditions that we need to place on this? Do we need, to Ms. Fields, do we need another parking plan, or is there anything else that we feel needs to be required for this?
Yeah, well, they'll have to submit the parking plan, and this is it, but they'll have to submit that to Building and Housing. And Building and Housing will review it, and that parking lot should be to code. So that would be, I would say, be the condition that it's built to code.
Okay, great. All right, Madam Chair, given the testimony of city planning and the presentation by the appellant, who continues to do a nice job for us, as you mentioned, each time they come back, nice drawings. We've heard this case. They've been responsive to our suggestions and requirements. City planning is in agreement. City planning notes that the councilperson Bishop is in agreement with this. The only thing we'd want to see, the only thing that we would, of course, want is, as Ms. Fields mentioned, is that the parking lot is built to code. And with that, I think we can go ahead and approve this finally.
I have a second. I think that was Ms. Barnes. Anyone hear that?
Yeah, second.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. All right, call the roll, please, Ms. Cookliffe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just for clarification, we were only granting variance number 1 today. Could the appellant, or did the appellant confirm that he will be providing 5 parking spaces as well as paving his lot?
Yes, and yes.
Yes, in the drawing, it looks like he's providing those spaces as well as paving.
Okay.
I have, excuse me, Chair Lady. This is Chuck Okoye, Building and Housing.
Yes.
How about the landscaping? What's the conclusion on the landscaping?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I said, what are we deciding on landscaping?
I believe Ms. Fields testified that we weren't requiring it because you would have to move the building to have them landscape it.
Okay. So we are approving that too, right?
Yes.
Which is 1 and 4 that we're approving.
Oh, thank you, Chuck. I didn't realize. I thought the applicant had said that he would comply. That number 4 just requires a 10-foot landscape transition strip where the property abuts the residential district. It seems like there's room for that. I would be surprised if the applicant would still need the variance for that.
Okay.
If I may chime in, the variance requirement where we abut against the residential is on the east side of the building, and the distance is it's not even 4 feet from our property to the neighbor's property. So if you're looking at the site plans right now, when we have the 3 plants on the southeast corner, our building is all the way up on our property line on the east side. So there's we don't have the
Did you open
space.
that door right there? I don't think you can open.
So, Merlene, you're not muted.
Oh.
So we are approving 1 and 4.
Looks like it, Madam Chair.
Yes, yeah. I had to just
Okay.
read them. Yes.
Yeah, the building is
Okay.
right on the property line. There's no way to
Yeah, there's no
move
way.
it to.
Yeah.
And I believe
Okay.
Marka Fields had her hand up. I don't know if she had something else to say.
No, that's actually was the point that I was going to make. So it's been
Okay.
covered.
Thank you. I will continue calling the roll, if that's all right, Madam Chair.
Yes, please do.
With those things being noted, Ms. Barnes,
Yes.
Ms. Faith,
Yes.
Ms. Britt.
Yes.
Calendar 21-34 is granted with the understanding we are only granting a variance from section 337.03 as well as sections 352.08 through 12. And it'll be ratified next week and we will send you a letter.
And may I ask a question?
Sure, go ahead.
Sure.
And so what would be the process for, I guess, the land bank in the parking lot aspect of this? I want to make sure that I'm doing this in the appropriate sequence of events. Do I go back to the land bank, or what do I?
Yeah, Marka Fields has her hand raised. She'll help you out with that.
Yeah, you can contact Marcus.
You
They help
guys,
you do that.
yeah, just give me a call afterwards and I'll walk you through it.
Thank you much. I appreciate it.
Great.
And I'll let Mr. Robbins know that you mentioned him. sorry, I couldn't help it.
That's not right, Maurice.
I'm sure I've made that mistake myself.
Yeah.
All righty. Old business. What we got?
All right, thank you and good luck.
Old
Thank you,
business,
Mark. I
we have
appreciate it.
number 1, number 2, and number 4, I believe, right?
One. There we go. It will wasn't up on the screen. Yep. So without objection for 1, 2, and 4.
Without objection.
Thank you. And we have affirmations on Warren Road. Of course, COVID is always the reason for our latest affirmations. So actually we have 2 for Warren Road and East 32nd to grant affirmations due with delay with the contractors because of COVID. Without objection.
Without objection, Madam Chair.
All righty. I think that's it.
Okay, are we adjourned?
We are adjourned.
I move that we adjourn.
I'm going to stop everything, but I did want to make, after I stopped the stream and everything, I wanted to make one comment.
Okay.
Let me stop everything.
Ms. Barnes, Ms. Wagner, do we need to go into executive session officially? How does that work?
I have no idea what he wants to talk about.
Well, I can say this publicly. It's not a big deal. Just that when we used to do these meetings in person, we always used to ask the address of the people that were speaking, especially when people were making comments about a project. And I noticed we're not asking for addresses anymore.
Oh yeah, we haven't done that the whole virtual time, I think.
I know, and I'm just thinking because
I think it's a good idea. I mean, they usually give you information which lets you know what their address is or how close they are to the project, but we should, for the record, should have the full address.
Right, because I'm thinking, when we get some of these houses and we have a lot of neighbors' input, and if someone is commenting on a new house that lives 3 blocks away, I mean, I think the board needs to know that.
I think that's generally standard procedure.
Let's remember. Yes.
Yeah.
We just forgot. I think that's something we forgot to do.
We just haven't.
Let's all remember to start that next week.
Yeah.
I can't believe we haven't been doing that, but nobody thought about it for the last year and a half.
We have not.
Maurice, is that something we can put on the screen, so that they are prepared with their name, address, and...
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
That'll probably help.
What screen should I put that on the intro screen, or should I add it to one of the screens for each case? So
the swearing in screen, I think, is a good place.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, right, because that's when I think that's when we used to ask, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, it seems so
Exactly.
long ago now.
Yeah.
I
Year and
know.
a
We're
half.
we're in a whole new world here. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a year and a half.
Yes, man.
So,
Actually, even more than
Kelly,
that at
could
this
you
point. Jeez.
Kelly, could you stay on for a minute after we turn off the live? There's one update I want to give you.
Yeah.